Kishwar NAHEED was born on 18th June 1940 in Bulandshahr, India. She migrated to Pakistan after partition in 1949 along with her family and settled in Lahore. She studied at home and received a high school diploma through correspondence courses and later did Bachelor of Arts in 1959 and a Master's in Economics from Punjab University, Lahore. She has served in major positions in various national institutions. She was Director General of Pakistan National Council of the Arts before her retirement. She also edited a prestigious literary magazine, MAHEED. She also founded an organization, Hawa, whose goal is to help women become financially independent through cottage industries and selling handicrafts. Kishwar NAHEED has been witness to the struggles and aspirations that Pakistan has gone through as a nation. Her written work chronicles her experiences as a woman writer engaged in the creative and civic arenas. Kishwar NAHEED was also active in People's Forum for Peace and Democracy, which champions the cause of peace in South Asia and has played a significant role in South Asian Association for Regional Cooperation. Kishwar NAHEED is widely acclaimed for her sharp and incisive poetic expression, for being bold and direct, and for celebrating the universal human struggle for equality, justice, and freedom. She is a prolific writer and 12 volumes of her poetry have been published from Pakistan and abroad. Her popular poetry collections include Labe Goya, Benam Musafir, Nazme, and Galiyan Dhoop aur Darwaze. Buri Aurat Ki Katha is her autobiography. She also writes a regular weekly newspaper column in Daily Jung. Kishwar NAHEED has also written 8 books for children and has won the prestigious UNESCO Award for Children's Literature. She has received many literary awards including Sitare-e-Imtiaz from the Government of Pakistan for literary contribution to Urdu literature.
Good evening viewers and welcome to the Art with World. Today we have a very eminent poet of Pakistan, Kishwar NAHEED Sahaba. We are honored that we are having us in our show. Thank you very much for sparing time for us.
Thank you again.
How are you?
I'm fine just because I'm enjoying my old age of 84 and reading books and writing and then not watching TV.
Really?
Because there is nothing new or refreshing. If there is something refreshing, then I'm prepared. Classical dance, classical music, and poetry. That is the thing which matter for me.
Well, that makes sense because all of your life you have been writing poetry, very active in literary activities, social activism, women rights, even child rights as well. Now at this time, how do you look back all these things? Because you have been witness to so many phases of Pakistan, maybe all the phases of Pakistan.
Including India.
Oh yes, yes.
Including India, because I'm lucky I was born in 1940, which is the Pakistan Resolution Day.
Okay.
Day.
Right.
And I happened to be going with my mother as a small girl to jail on protest also, because my father was arrested on 14th August because he was Muslim League president. And he was in jail for 2 years. Oh. Then I know the jail also from that time. Afterwards, when Yusuf was in jail, that I know the jail. And then when we were sent to the jail on 12th February 1983, when we brought out the resolution about witness to witness to women.
Okay.
That is the thing. So these are all mixed up happenings, but I don't say that I'm depressed.
Okay.
Because in the future, in the past, we have lived the life what people up till now khas or say women are not enjoying. But at the same time, feel disappointed at places like when the women are raped and then murdered, when children are raped, both boys and girls. So this is not decreasing, it is increasing. Although it is all over the world like this, but in Pakistan, this is too much.
Almost daily we come across such news.
Day before, so Topa Singh, there was a 18 years old girl.
Yeah.
My
That's
God.
very sad.
Let's be refreshing. Let's talk refreshing.
So I guess you were talking that you went to jail to see your father. So it was Bulandshahr
Yes.
where you spent.
Yes.
It was your
Bulandshahr is the area in between Aligarh and Delhi. It's in midway there. So we used to come often from Bulandshahr to Delhi or to Aligarh. That's the way. And secondly, the best thing that I even remember of Bulandshahr was a tree. I don't know why it was called Kalam. Our school was there. When I went to India and went to my house
later on.
In 1940, 83, 84. So I went to that area and I saw वो बचपन की चीज़ें इतनी बड़ी नजर आती हैं. They were so small and all that, the lane and all that. I went to my house also. People were living in that house and the house was divided in two parts, male portion and female portion. That is, the style of life was there. And Sayyid Maulvi, being my mother, was the only exception in the whole family who made the daughters to study.
Oh, great.
While my Nana told her that if you put the girls for education, I'll not come to your house. So Amma said, okay, and she didn't go for quite a long time. And then Abba, he said, whatever money I give you, I'll not increase it. Amma said, I will put half roti to them and save half for their education, but I'll make my girls to be educated.
Well, that's great. And how was it, in very early childhood, you had to migrate from Bulandshahr and then to adjust in Lahore.
Yes.
And you have so many active life in Lahore actually. So how was that?
You see, Pakistan has been a very flourishing country. And when we came to Lahore, full of antiques and architecture and namazein, masjidein, ye wo, Shalimar. Is there anything which is less in Lahore now? Is the gathering outside Mochi Gate and that area where Fatma Jinnah used to address the public, where Bukhari Sahib, Ataullah Bukhari, used to address to the people. And the only person whose voice was heard at that time, when Fatma Jinnah was speaking, was Habib Jalil. He used to recite, "Main nahi manta, main nahi janta," or "20 rupaye manata, Sadar Ayyub Zindabad." Like this was there. So this is the beginning of life and adulthood and childhood both. But when we came to the university, it was mostly that we were going to, I was going to the debates and mushairas, and I was the only girl sometimes in the debates, and I said in the government college to the judges, please keep in mind that girls have come to compete, not to get the consolation prize. So, and by chance it happened that I got the first prize. Oh, boys said, oh, she has blackmailed judges and she has. But this, I kept on listening. She has blackmailed men and women or anything else like this. But I kept on writing, following Jara Nigah. I was in 9th class when she recited poetry in Lahore, and everybody was there. No one spoke. And the crowd said, we want to listen her again. We want to listen her again. She made me, provoked me to write poetry in the feminist way. So from the beginning, I wrote my first ghazal, which was very popular, which is still now people quote. कुछ यूं भी जर्जर सी नाहीदार थी, कुछ ओढ़नी का रंग भी खिलता हुआ न था. That was my getting popularity in college and university. All the boys used to recite my poetry again and again and again and again. It was lovely to see them. What a life we had. We were together, boys and girls, sitting in the canal side. Boys and girls, writers like Intezar Hussain, Amanat Ali Khan. So everybody together, we are sitting during summer, scorching summer, on the canal side, and talking and singing and reciting poetry. And that was life that we had. Afterwards, the life went to another quarter, and that is Halkai-e-Babe Zauq, and then tea house, and then, of course, in the beginning, it was coffee house. Coffee house, upper area, was meant to be for the people who were putting themselves in love. They were sitting over there, so we were one of them. So there I meet Shorish Kashmiri, they are there, Abdullah Bhatt, all these people, all old people. And then in the institutions, I met Sufi Saab too, Ehsan Danish, Abid Ali Abid. So what
Sufi Saab was your neighbor as well, I think.
Neighbor was also two houses away.
That,
yes.
You learned Persian from him as well.
Quratul Ain Tahira
one
and
of the finest poets.
Hafiz, both I learned from him. It was very difficult because he used to start talking and he, when I used to say Quratul Ain Tahira ki kehti hai this. But things like it were happening together. But lovely sittings that I had in Sufi Saab guest room. It was a small room, 5-6 people could sit, and we all who used to go like students, we just sitting on the floor, just listening what they are talking about. Sometimes they are discussing Samarkand Bukhara, sometimes they are discussing Iqbal, sometimes Ghalib, sometimes Musafi, and that was very encouraging and understandable that what poetry is and how old are the people writing in Persian, writing in Urdu, and also when I grew up, I also learned Punjabi all the time, but wrote a few poems. That's it. Otherwise, not. In the beginning, I also, because I was writing as a child, articles for Apajan. Mrs. Faiz was Apajan of Pakistan Times. And I used to write a small piece, sent to her, and 5 rupees money order I used to get for it.
You also wrote for children as well. I think, was it influence of Sufi Saab, Sufi Tabassum Saab? Because he was a famous Toot Butot. I mean, he wrote such a great poetry for children. We used to, when we were students, we used to recite his poetry.
तेरे इश्ता नहीं एतबार मैनू सूफी साहब अब एक मेरा इंतजार आ जा.
Yeah, that is his translation.
Persian, this poem was written in Persian, and he is translated into Punjabi.
Yeah, it's Ghalib's.
Ghalib.
It was beautiful, beautiful translation. You just talked about Party House and Halkai-e-Babe Zauq and going to Pakistan Times office. I sometimes wondered that was such a great area. I mean, everything was, I mean, there were educational institutions, there were places for literary discussions, there were newspapers. All the times people used to gather in the evening and afternoon and discuss everything under the sun. I remember a few groups which we used to call Killers of the Night or Katlan-e-Shab. They used to sit all the night and discuss various issues, political, literary, and all those
Yeah,
things.
it was such a very small group that is there. We were late night sitter because we were young. 4 baje tak we were sitting on the canal and coming home. And at 7 o'clock, there was office going, so we used to go to office and never tired. Now, I get tired of sitting half an hour.
I think the whole culture has changed because I remember going to Party House sometimes. There were specific tables somewhere.
Different tables.
Zahidar
This is the
Saab,
Zahidar table.
Saab.
Nobody will go over there except he.
Yeah.
Welcome to.
Yeah.
And then this is Intezar Hussain's table. This is Anis Nagi's table. And then somebody is coming from outside. He from Multan, Karachi, Bahawalpur. they are welcomed, and they used to ask, can we sit with you? Now this humility and this sort of things were very common. Now anybody you talk to, young generation, we know you are famous. I'm not talking about being famous. Have you read my poetry or my books? I read only English. And then the mothers will say, इसने उर्दू नहीं पढ़ी हुई. I get tired of this because उर्दू नहीं पढ़ी हुई का लफ्ज़ जो है from educated women is tiring and also exposing our society, which has gone from actual culture and realities ground. They are gone trying to be westernized. Westernized people, when you meet them, they are so busy. They are working from morning till night at home and also in office. That's why they have 2 holidays. We are having 2 holidays for nothing. We don't work at all. So that is the thing that we have to compare. We compare Western society by the swimming pools. They don't know what is the actual living of style of those people. I've traveled with, I worked with women who from the office for half an hour break. In the one hand they have the sandwich, in the other hand they have the coffee, and they are driving in that half to buy grocery.
Yeah, things have changed. I can remember the level of discussions in those times. People were well versed with Urdu literature, Punjabi literature, English literature. They knew about their land, their culture, and they also knew what's happening around the globe.
Remember Mela Chiraga, and then Multan, Urs over there also, or Mela Chiraga. At that time, Mela Chiraga was held in Shalimar in early days, and the people coming from villages on the horses, and they have been dancing, and people have been dancing, sitting on the floor and saying, Maini, Mekinu Dasa. This is the way.
Shouts and lines, no?
So this is the way that we were developed, and I'm lucky that I have been sitting with those people who were educated, were keen for literature and learning and going ahead in the society.
I mean, you were lucky in a way. I mean, to live in that time of Lahore.
Tea house is not there.
It's there, but in a different way now. I mean,
it is the center of voters.
Yeah. No, but they have renovated that old tea house.
Despite of it, writers don't go over there now.
I think that area should be declared as a
asset,
as a historical place.
You see, when you go to Paris, you find a restaurant where all the photographs and all the press clippings of the great writers is there. And this is there. I told them to make it a sample of it like this. But as this commercialization has taken over the actual meaning of love and literature, so we continue to see how much money we can make, But I'm a pensioner. I think how costly is this thing. Limu ek 4 rupees mein aata hai. So it's so difficult for me to adjust.
Well, I mean, we can talk on and on about these things. If you could recite some of your poetry for us and our viewers.
You see, I want to tell you that the poems that you have selected or I am trying to read are those which have been translated in many languages. And then for the last 10 years, workshops are being held on, particularly I tell you, Ghas bhi mujh jaisi hai, the grass is like me. Okay. So it is like this, I read this. घास भी मुझ जैसी है, पाँव तले बिछकर ही जिंदगी की मुराद पाती है, मगर ये भीग कर किस बात की गवाही बनती है, शर्मसारी की आँच की कि जज्बे की हिद्दत की, घास भी तो मुझ जैसी है, ज़रा सर उठाने के काबिल हो तो काटने वाली मशीन इसे मखमल बनाने के लिए हमवार करती रहती है. औरत को भी हमवार करने के लिए तुम कैसे कैसे जतन करते हो, समझ में आई? न ज़मीं की नमू की ख्वाहिश मरती है न औरत की। मेरी मानो तो वही पगडंडी बनाने का ख्याल दुरुस्त था। जो हौसलों की शिकस्तों की आँच न सह सकें वो पेवंदे ज़मीं होकर यूं ही जोरावरों के लिए रास्ता बनाते हैं। मगर वो परे कहाँ हैं? एक जर्रा है घास का, घास नहीं, घास तो मुझ जैसी है।
Wow, beautiful, beautiful. Most of your poetry that reflects upon social situations, against oppression, against injustice. So, how would you see this transformation? I mean, it just came. You consciously decided to.
I'm not transformed. I'm taking what is happening. You see, it was a time of Ayub Khan.
Yeah.
And I was newly passed out my MA Economics and joined government service.
Information department.
On interim. Interim.
Okay.
Because we had married, both of us got married because my parents said, oh, he is Kashmiri and you are Sayyid, this can't go. And we insisted on this that we wanted to get married. I never wanted to have any jahez or anything. It's gold. I never liked gold at all, anytime. So we were new people to earn something. So there were officers who knew, and I was put in job, and Yusuf was also put in job, and a small amount of money we were getting in the end of the month. We were caring where we should go to have leftover dinners like this. It was very interesting. And I was going to Mushaira also for 4 years because the Mushaira lasts for up to 3 or 4 o'clock. So how can you continue your life going to office at 7 in the morning? So one point was this, and the second point was this, that there used to be poets, hired poets. They were not real poets. Women hired for reading poetry, which is very common in India at the moment also. There are very few original poets. But now, when I see around, up to Karachi, up to Peshawar, anywhere, there are women poets who are really writing very good poetry. And I feel so proud, not proud, but satisfied, that they are expressing themselves, what the society is dealing with them, and how the people are not responding to their poetry in the same manner. Majority of our male poets don't mention women poets' difference, what they have created in the world of poetry. The Ishqiya Shairi, love poetry, lot has happened. They are old, even in their old age they are writing either Ishqiya Shairi or they are writing about religious poetry. Not about the problem, what everyone is facing, what society is facing, how our children are growing, how difficult it is to earn and also difficult to continue life. You see, we used to go into bus after changing 2 buses to Lahore College. If the bus is not there, we used to go on foot.
You told that you were inspired by Zahra Nigah when you were growing up. Later on, you have been traveling a lot and you met many other poets. What other influences you had afterwards?
You see, I have met personally to Eden Rich and June Jordan. We have a lot of dialogue. Read right from Sylvia Plath to all the women poets who have written meaningful things. And a new generation is there, but in the new generation, there are a few who are actually writing about problems that in society, what is the problem for everyone in a society, what are the problem in a house, male and women relationship, in offices, and this is common. Even in America, we are lucky we have equal pay in Pakistan, but in America, up till now, men and women don't get equal pay. So discrepancies are there, and the struggle is also there.
You met Najib Mahfouz as well.
Ah, what a lovely.
I like him a lot.
It was,
He's one
it
of
was,
the finest prose.
it was
fiction.
his old age, and I was in Egypt. So there was in the paper, he's going to have a sitting at such and such a hotel. I went to that hotel and I asked the people that, where is Najib Mahfouz sitting? They never knew. What was easy? Is he actor? People who were there, they think. After certain time, I traveled through 3-4 stairs, and in one room I found him sitting with 2 persons. When he was attacked on the back.
Yeah.
Since then,
stabbed.
Stabbed.
I guess, yeah.
So he has 2 doctors always looking after him and traveling with him. So he was sitting there with them, and then I told, I'm from Pakistan. Say, oh, from Fez. I said, yes, from Fez. From Fez.
Faiz Ahmed Faiz. Okay.
That's it. He told me about his, he said, I'm not writing these days, I don't go out, I'm writing about my dreams. Last his 5-6 books are about his dreams.
Oh, okay.
But very interesting was that when I started saying, okay, I'm going, thank you so much, I put my hand ahead. He said, Subhanallah. So, the old society, in our society, if I say, these boys have come, I said, kaise ho? Duaएं. So this is the sign of our old generation. What was here also, also all these people were very senior to me when I met them. And I grew with them and heard about it that Faisal said to me, तुम लड़की बन के क्यों लिखती हो? Faisal, I'm a girl, I'm a woman. अच्छा. Then afterwards, when he was sick and before his death, 6 months or 7 months, he said, bring all those poetry to me. He was in hospital, those who are writing like you, and prose poem. I took the books to him, and when he was back home, and he was sitting, because his birthday we used to celebrate all together. The whole city used to celebrate, and people used to bring gifts. Somebody is bringing food, somebody is bringing drinks, somebody is bringing guests, Noor Jahan or Iqbal Bano or anyone, everybody together. We are sitting. So I asked him, what is your impression about those new poets, prose poem? He said, अच्छा है, but I can't write. I said, I don't ask you to write this. He said, नहीं, समझ में आता है, Western ideas भी आते हैं, लेकिन this is a different style of poetry. In the same way, when I was interviewing Faisal once on television, I asked, what do you think about Habib Talib? He said, he's a great poet. I said, you just saying for the words or you mean it? He said, I mean it. I can't write like this because he is different in the style and ego, while I'm soft. Yeah. Then I said to him, I'm sure you are inspired and also doing, I said copying, but not the word, like Neruda. In तेरी समंदर आँखों में
शाम का सूरज.
Yeah. तो then he said, हाँ ठीक है, तुम्हें पढ़ाया है इसलिए कि तुम हमें criticize करो. So things like it is. I'm so happy talking to the people of Pakistan and all over the world, because we have lived the life of a cultured city. Lahore was the cultured city, not now, and Islamabad has not been able to be a cultured city. It is a city of foreigners, receptions of the foreigners, and everybody is going with the children also to have food at night over there. So, and people, there is no place here to sit and talk. There is no library here that you can go and sit there. We used to go to British Council library, like American library, and we used to sit for hours over there. There is no library here that I can go after my office hour and sit over there and work. So whenever I go to my sons, one is in Spain, the other is in America.
These are your sons, I guess.
Oh yes.
Do you miss them?
This is 40 years. This is 40 years that children gone. Yusuf gone because he was died in. He was in Saudi Arabia and he died because of heart attack. So it is
he died very young, I guess.
43. I was 42 and he was 43.
Well, you have gone through different phases of hope, phases of despair, phases of oppression, and taking into consideration your women's rights movement.
You see, when I said to you that I was made to sit at home, I never said sit at home. I used to go to the interior of Lahore, interior of Chadra, and used to work over there with the women sitting over there, making them to have better designing, have the marketing sense, have the pricing sense, and the same day, when I came to Islamabad and I retired, I worked up to 2015 in the field of Pakistan. Every village of Pakistan I have seen, and I have sit with the women, and they are working. You go to Zainab Market, Karachi, all the women's work of Thar Parker is there. You go to any area in Multan, this is all women's work of the Kacha Tanka is there. So, and secondly, their problems are being resolved by this, that in the end of the workshop, we used to make their husbands to come and tell them that they should be their party of it, and just make them conscious that you want them to bring raw material and you will do it at home. And slowly, slowly you will go with them. Like this you will be able to go in the society. People don't consider the women who are agriculturists. They were not recognized by even United Nations that working agriculturist women, what is the ratio and how much she should get. She's not getting much in Pakistan up till now, although they have started paying her for agriculture, sowing and all that. It is when they put samples of rice during hot season, nobody knows how much problem and how much sweating they are. Maybe a pregnant woman, maybe not married. I've seen the woman that giving birth to a child, work while working, and all other women working like them, they help her, and then they are working. In our society, begums, they don't come out after a month, for a month or so after delivery, but those women are working after a week or so in the villages. And also, my maid used to come, and I just made her to come out. I say, I'll pay for you, but don't work, because just after immediate birth of the child, don't work. So same thing is going on. The maid who is working with me now, she has eye problem. Nobody has helped her. I've taken her to Al-Shifa hospital, and they have said it's a very distorted situation. It will take 6 months. But I said, I'll look, but they are very generous. They said, you are helping, we will also help. We will not take, otherwise they take a charge 1.5 lakh of rupee for one operation. So people are there who work, who want to make Pakistan a good country, valuable country.
Do you think your work about women's rights has changed society a bit? I mean, do you think today's time is different from what you had experienced like 50 years before? Let me put it another question.
Now,
in
you
a
see,
different way.
I tell you, very interesting.
Like if you are given a chance to live your young life in these days, in the days of 50s, what would you prefer?
You see, I tell you one thing. When I was made head of department in 1980 something, beginning 78 or something, so then the staff wrote a letter to secretary that we will work under a woman. It will be shameful for us to work under a woman.
Really?
Yes. And the secretary said to me, will you take up, because it was my promotion. I did marking like this, what has happened over there, and I came to Lahore and to my office, and then I went to that person who was made the staff to write. I went straight to his room, and I said, "Assalamu alaikum, would you not offer me a cup of tea?" Poor guy, Pakistani guy. He offered tea, and then after the tea, I said, "Come on, go ahead. You need me to meet officers of this office." He was leading, and then everybody in his room smiling that he's the one who scolded us, and now he's coming with her. So it is the way that you change them. You just change them to small words, to small saying. As I tell you one thing, when I was in my office, my staff, lower staff, used to start wearing fresh clothes, clean clothes, and then laughing, and laugh and smile and talk to each other. The girls are also there, the boys are there, but the girls are eating separately, the boys are eating separately. I said, no, let's sit together and eat like human being.
Your life is actually a story of success. You have got so many achievements. You have so many people who want to meet
So
you.
why I named it Buri Aurat Ki Katha?
Yeah, I mean because there is more to celebrate than to lament.
Chalo, ye dekho, I tell you.
You are invited in every literary function, in every literary festival. Many people across different sections of society.
I tell you,
Yeah.
in this country where people are living in two stages. One stage is where I have traveled to one, you people also like this. And the other stage is that the girls are not educated and they are at home and then they sign the paper. Despite of this, they don't know what is written in Nekanama. So, but when I started going to radio, I was in first year. And my mother said that I'll speak in Urdu, you can translate it. सैयद घरों की लड़कियों की आवाज़ तो मर्दान खाने में नहीं जाती थी, ये बेटी हमारी दुनिया को अपनी आवाज़ सुना रही है.
Yeah, but you made it possible. So it's
You see, on everything, everything when it, but I'm writing that they used to say buri aurat, but slowly everybody started making their sons and daughters to go to radio and then going to television. Who are the first one who initiate anything? Quratullah ne likhna shuru kiya from Lucknow. She was also told like this. Hijab Imtiaz Ali flying the plane, everybody said, why a woman like this is doing? So thought women of the same culture of Dr. Nazir Ahmad, nobody comes ahead from Abdul Halim Sharar or Bhashti Zevar. So the way that we tried to bring up till now, we have not been successful. You count it as a success, but it is not. Even now, only 18% women are in jobs. And 22% are in small jobs like agriculture, where they don't get their pay. So, in the same way you can go to the brick making. All this they are doing along with their children. And Asma tried its best to make them to come out of this litigation. Still, it is there, things going on. So, I'm feeling very lonely because Rehman Sahib is gone, Usmani Sahib is gone, Barna Sahib is gone, Asma is gone. The feminists and also humanist people who were working for human rights, Satnam Mahmood, all these, Tahira Mazhar Ali, they've been working for the we need a big group who should work for emancipation of men, not women. Women are emancipated mostly. I always plead now that we need orientation of men. They should be able to know, mere dost bano, mere dost bano. So there's a lot to be done. Nothing is done up till now. We should not, and life is meant for this, that keep on going, keep on going, keep on working, keep on making people emancipated. Reading, writing, which is completely ignored by society because of computer and also mobile. These mobile, they give children mobile when the feed. In England and America, they have now announced that up to the school, children will not take any mobile with them. Now they have decided. We have not decided this thing. And wherever they decide, they take it in the socks. They take the thing like this. Now, when we are also on the begging side, we should not beg. We should work. In the society, in the villages, at home, whatever the purpose is. You see, there was a time when I used to translate one page for Ferozsons for 5 rupees. But I needed 5 rupees. Why? Because my children were small, and 5 rupees I could get the socks for my 2 children. So one has to make them realize that this is the way one has to work.
You have been writing ghazals in your early times, but then later you shifted your focus to prose poetry. Are you still writing ghazals these days? Something very fresh you have written now?
Yeah, I've been writing ghazal in the beginning. Labe Goya was my first collection. Yeah. Then thereafter, Mukhtar Siddiqui said to me, why don't you write poem? I said, I'm scared of writing poem because it needs something. Ghazal to, you are going in bus or you are writing on table or you are sleeping, you get ghazal. But nazm needs attention, total attention. But now I'm writing also ghazals also because they should know that what is happening these days. So, ab suno. बेखुदी के भी तो आदाब हुआ करते थे, बेखुदी के भी तो आदाब हुआ करते थे, अपनी आँखों में कभी ख्वाब हुआ करते थे। अब नजर आते हैं हर सिमत खजानी चेहरे, अब नजर आते हैं हर सिमत खजानी चेहरे, इश्क करते थे तो शादाब हुआ करते थे। भूलने को तो बहुत हिजरें ताज़ा अब तक याद हैं चेहरे जो महताब हुआ करते थे। और अब कहाँ लफ्ज़ो मानी के नहुफ्ता पैकर, छुपे हुए पैकर कहाँ हैं, अब कहाँ लफ्ज़ो मानी के नहुफ्ता पैकर खुशबयानी में भी नायाब हुआ करते थे। और आखिर में जो आपको सबको पता चल जाएगा कि आज की लिखी हुई है, अब तो रोज़ी है ना रोटी ना ताल्लुक़ का चलन, हंसते गाते हुए अहबाब हुआ करते थे।
Oh.